I just want to explain to you the difference between a lithium and a gel battery. I did explain it partially in my video called our entertainment package, which we retail. But yeah, I just want to take a little bit more time and explain the difference between gel and lithium. First of all, when you feel a gel battery, it's much heavier than a lithium battery. That's the first feature that you understand. Secondly, you save much more cost in gel. It's cheaper than a lithium battery. A gel battery you can get about between 1,800 and 3,000 Rand for a 12 volt 100 amp battery. And the same 12 volt 100 amp in lithium, you will pay about 4,500 Rand more on a 12 volt 100 amp lithium battery. So I've just explained it's more, when you feel it, the gel is more heavier than the lithium, and in terms of pricing, your lithium is more expensive than your gel. Now let's just come to the technical aspects of your gel and your lithium battery. Your gel battery is that they call it depth of discharge. In other words, the capacity that you can use the battery, how far you can use the battery to its depth in it. So if you say that the depth of discharge of a battery is 50%, it means that you can only use the battery 50%. If it says the depth of discharge of a battery is 80%, in this case it's a lithium, you can use the battery to 80% of its capacity. Now if we do some calculations and we use a 12 volt 100 amp gel battery, and generally the depth of discharge with gel is 50%. If you have a 12 volt 100 amp battery, how you convert that, you take the 12 volt times 100 amps and you get 1,200 watts, and you take 50% of that. In other words, you can only use 600 watts capacity of that battery. So if you have equipment connected to your inverter and it's about 250 watt, it's advisable that you can only use those equipment for 2 hours, although the capacity of the battery is 1,200 watts. You can only use it for 2 hours because the depth of discharge of that battery is 600 watt. That means you can only use 600 watts, so it's advisable for, in this case, which I use a 250 watt capacity, where you have maybe your TV or lights, and that adds to 250 watt, you can only use that for 2 hours. But in the case of a lithium, the depth of discharge of a lithium is 80%. In other words, you can use, if I take 0.2 times 1,200, if you take 20%, it's 240 watts. So if you take 1,200 watt minus 240 watt, it gives you 960 watts that you can use of that battery. So remember, depth of discharge means you can use 80% of that battery. In this case of a lithium, it's 960 watts. If I use the example of 250 watts, say you have your TV or your lights or your laptop, it adds to 250 watt. In this case, if we take the 960 watt, divide by the 250 watt, which I explain what you are using, you can use it between 3 and 4 hours. So that's the main differences between your lithium batteries and your gel batteries. Thank you very much for this. I hope it was helpful to explain the difference in terms of cost, in terms of weight, and in terms of capacity, the difference between a gel and a lithium battery. Thank you very much.